long face, no top, and an exhaust note that drives fear into the hearts of even the bravest men. It was a rear-wheel drive car from the company who perfected front-wheel drive, a return to the roots that showed the world Honda can still have fun. And just like a summer fling, the McPizza, and my old man, it didn't stick around for long, leaving us before we could appreciate what we really had. This is everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Honda S2000. Today, Honda is the name of one of the largest automakers in the world. But in the 1920s, it was just the name of some mechanic. Soichiro Honda spent his youth fixing bicycles at his father's shop, falling in love with all things mechanical. One day, little Honda was walking home, and he saw something that would change his life and the entire car industry forever. Bouncing down the road came a Ford Model T. Honda had to know how it worked, and soon he did what any inquisitive child does. He dropped out of grade school and moved out on his own to apprentice at a mechanic's shop. When I was in grade school, I dropped out and started learning how to yell about cars. And soon he was a well-renowned mechanic with his own repair shop. Here, he would build custom race cars and motorcycles in his spare time, dreaming of the day when he could build his own vehicle. The Second World War would delay these dreams becoming a reality as Soichiro began producing parts for the war effort. That is, until his workshop got bombed by the Allies and smashed by an earthquake. Once that happened, he decided to sell the rubble for scrap, buy a water tank, and make some whiskey. This dude is awesome. That really happened. Google it. In 1949, Honda would make history by founding his namesake company, Honda Motor Company, with the introduction of a number of small motorbikes.
Fast forward to 1955.
Japan is starting to recover from the war. The government has put out a directive for what they call a people's car. 4 seats, cheap price, and easy production.
That was easy.
Honda hired 50 engineers and got to work building a car suitable to bear his name. Despite being beat to the market by rivals Suzuki and Subaru, Honda and his engineers kept on working before finally revealing the fruits of their labor at the National Honda Meeting General Assembly in 1962. These cars were called the S360, S500, and T360. Honda, who was told to produce a family-friendly 4-seater that can protect passengers from the weather, comes back with 2 convertible sports cars and a mini truck. Boss! While today Honda has a reputation for making wrong-wheel drive cars, the company actually began with rear-wheel drive convertible sports cars. Basically, the Honda S500 was a 4-wheel tandem seat motorcycle. The engine was small and had individually carbureted cylinders with a 9,500 RPM REDLINE. It was a screamer. It even used a chain drive contraption to get power to the rear wheels. This tiny rear drive roadster was everything Honda loved about cars. It was mechanical, it was interesting, and it was fun. By 1970, the S500's engine had grown, and the car was now the S800. As Mr. Honda became older, he started stepping back from the operations of his company. As other business leaders besides Mr. Honda gained more influence in the company, the focus began to shift more and more towards fuel-efficient, family-friendly vehicles. For the next 30 years, it would seem that Honda had forgotten its roots, and the S line of roadsters was dead and gone. Until one day in 1995, a bright, unexpected light appeared on the horizon. And no, I'm not talking about the day that Post Malone was born. It was the 1995 Tokyo Motor Show, and Honda dropped a bomb on the entire auto industry with their Honda Sports Study model. It was sleek, stylish, and most importantly, it was topless. This study was led by Daisuke Sawai and showed fans that Honda maybe hadn't forgotten the spirit of their founder. The concept featured a drop-top body powered by a 2-liter, 5-cylinder VTEC engine. This car would proceed to tease fans for the next 4 years until in 1999, Honda finally released their next S car. Nearly 30 years after the last one, the S2000 was born. Released in Japan for the 1999 model year and the rest of the world the following year, the S2K was truly a return to form for the company. The 2-liter engine, which gave the S2000 its name, this engine, dubbed the F20C, is absolutely filled with headline-grabbing technology, including aluminum block, forged aluminum pistons, dual overhead cam, VTEC, a timing chain rather than a belt, fiber reinforced metal cylinder liners, molybdenum piston skirts for reduced friction. Look out, Dad, because baby's got molybdenum. All of which result in a mean piston speed of 81 feet a second. That's fast. So fast. All those big words mean that the Honda S2000 makes 234 horsepower out of a 2-liter engine, or 247 horsepower if you live in Japan, where they get slightly higher compression ratios. These power numbers are achieved way up in the rev range at 8,300 RPM, with a REDLINE sitting at 9,000 RPM. Power is sent through a 6-speed manual to the rear wheels, where an LSD came standard. This put the F20C at around 125 horsepower per liter, which means it had the highest output of any mass production naturally aspirated engine until it was beaten by the Ferrari 458 in 2010. The S2000 landed during the perfect time to launch such a bold nod to their heritage. Not only were they able to capitalize off their recent kart and Formula One experience, accessible Honda performance was seeing a renaissance on public roads through the launch of their NSX supercar and the arrival of the Type R nameplate on American shores. Integra Type R, you ever heard of it? Check out this video. Oh, what a time to be alive. Except there was one problem. Americans, per usual. The S2K focused on making its power by reducing internal engine friction, allowing faster engine speeds and higher redlines. This meant the S2K made all of its power way at the top. VTEC didn't even kick in until 6,000 RPM, yo. To get the most out of the S2000, drivers really had to work the transmission, building and keeping engine speed high. Americans were used to big cars with large, torquey powerhouses. They didn't react well to the S2000 with its high-strung F20C. Hoping to change these reactions, Honda facelifted the S2000 5 years into its production run, launching the updated S2000 in 2004. Since the first Honda was known as the AP1, this one was logically named the AP2. The biggest difference between the two models is the engine. The AP2 got an updated F22C1. Just like the Honda S Roadsters of the 60s, this updated engine was larger, stroked to 2.2 liters. The new motor was purely a response to the American market and their distaste for the high-revving F20C. The F22C1 produced a bit more torque, had a bit lower redline at 8,200 RPM, but had just as much character as before. Luckily for us, not only can Honda build a wonderful engine, they can also build a pretty rad car to put it in. With a long hood, clean lines, and a road-hugging appearance, the S2000 is a beautiful car, something important to any successful sports car. Even more importantly to a sports car, the structure of the S2K is incredibly strong due to an X-bone frame which supports the engine and transmission and everything else important. These good looks, grade A chassis, and amazing engine all quickly put the S2K on the radar of many car enthusiasts. Many people were introduced to the S2000 and the idea of a fast Honda in The Fast and the Furious when Jesse got smashed by Johnny Tran's $100,000 S2K. Too soon, Junior. As production neared the 10-year mark, Honda knew the S2000 was not long for this world. They decided the best way to send the car off was to release a few special edition models. The most focused and hardcore version was actually reserved for the American market. What? We got a cooler car than Japan did for once? What the? This model, called the Club Racer or CR, was Honda's nod to the enthusiasm shown by American drivers for the car. The CR included track revised exhaust and suspension systems, as well as CR specific wheels and wider tires. On top of these added parts, Honda stripped the CR of any weight it could. This included making the radio and AC optional, as well as deleting the folding roof. The empty roof storage space was filled with an X-brake, and a sweet hardtop was included. While the CR is covered in special edition visual only mods like faux carbon fiber, two additions which have a definite purpose are the front and rear spoilers. These aid in cornering speed by providing downforce. This downforce combined with the wider rear tires make the CR slower in a straight line, but faster in the twisties. With this special edition, Honda wound down S2000 production, closing down the assembly line in 2009. With the end of the S2K, Honda's lineup was, for the most part, missing fun. Boring. CRVs, pilots, and Odyssey minivans filled Honda showrooms everywhere. Honda fans worried that fun Hondas were gone. Today, Honda is going through a repeat of what brought us the S2000 in the first place. They're becoming more focused in motorsport. The world has a modern NSX and America has a Type R. Japan even has their own S-Roadster in the form of a cute little S660 K car. Honda is fun again.
Dang.
The S2000, a car that seemed out of character for Honda almost 20 years ago, may actually be the most Honda car that Honda has ever built. That's everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Honda S2000. Subscribe to our channel, hit that button. The more subs we get, the more cool stuff we get to do with you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. You're the only reason that I have a job. If you like Hondas, check out our Up to Speed episode on the Type R. You wanna know how VTEC works? Check out this episode of Science Garage. Follow me on Instagram at James Pumphrey. Follow Donut on Instagram at Donut Media. Go like our page, go like our show page. I love you.